Hey everyone, just wanted to kind of show you how I clean my bottle babies' little individual enclosures. They are separated because of sibling sucking. They will suck on each other, which can be very dangerous. Here's Kobu trying to help me. I'm setting down pads so I can move them from where they are, and then if they go potty, they're not going on the carpet. I'll move this entire enclosure. It's all one piece. It's very lightweight. Um, They're all gonna run around a little bit. Merlin snuck himself in there. I gotta move Kovu. So I'm gonna pick everyone up, put them back in little cubicles so they're not pottying on the carpet or trying to suck on each other. Little spider, just being a spider, crawling around. So the two with litter boxes are older by like a week, and they're already starting to use the litter boxes. They'll actually be going to a different foster later today because they need a little more room, and they're starting to teeth, they're starting to chew on the nipples, they're starting to transition. They're going to be in about a week ready to wean. So they're going to go to Tiffany. She's going to take over their care, and I'm going to keep the litter that was the C-section babies from Mama Macaulay. So you can see how big my heating pad is. It's huge. So they each have plenty of warmth, plenty of coverage. I'm going to put down the base layer of potty pads. And then what I do is I take several of these and I cut them into fourths. And that way each cubicle I can stack up like 4 or 5. And then each time one of them goes potty, I just peel a layer off. And that just keeps everybody clean. And then I'm not having to move everyone like this several times a day every time I need to change the base layer. So instead, I only have to do this once a day. Usually, sometime I did this at like midnight because that's when I woke up and decided to do it. I'm a night person. I like to do everything at night. So I have the base layer down. I'm going to go get the cut individual pieces. But I just set them down like this. And then when the cubicles go back on top of it, each has their own little set that I can peel off as they go potty. At this age, they are starting to kind of poop on their own. Not on purpose, but you see them crawling around. They kind of rub on the floor. They'll go potties. Sometimes they'll poop. Spider does not like to be stimulated, so he won't even pee for me. So he has to have extras of these because he always goes pee in his enclosure. But they're getting to the age where they're starting to go on their own. Honestly, they'll do it even when they're younger if they wiggle around enough. So, also, sorry if I sound stuffy. I just got over a sinus infection. So, I'm going to finish putting these down, and then I'm going to end up putting this whole thing back where it was. And you can see Spider already went pee on the pee pad, and so did the other little buff tabby. So these guys were named after the Avatar movies with Jake Sully, the Na'vi people, Planet Pandora, all that stuff. So, except for Merlin, and then the little gray one is Mouse. That's those two. But all of these guys were named after Jake Sully's kids or adopted kids, or the orange and white one was Roto, which was one of the aquatic natives. So, I had one named Carrie, but she had passed away, unfortunately. She was about a week old. She was the runt. She had been struggling and just failure to thrive. So it happens with bottle babies. Even without them being bottle babies, sometimes it happens. They have defects that you can't see, you don't know about them. So here I'm just wiping down all the panels because they do poop and then crawl in it and then rub on the panels, and you kind of see them climbing on the edge there. Uh, they're ready to eat, which I'm going to do after this, and I have another video of that as well. But I'm just cleaning off all their little poops. These are rescue wipes. Rescue is a brand used to kill various viruses and stuff like that. They use it in a lot of vet clinics and rescue settings. Hence the name Rescue. I thought that was cute. And then another stack there on top of my trash can. Spider's got a little bit of diarrhea, um, so his was extra messy. But everyone's eating really well. Merlin and Mouse, the two older ones, they're teething. They're starting to get teeth, and so they're starting to chew on the nipples. They're eating a little bit less. They're weighing a little bit less. Um, so I have to kind of watch them and make sure that they eat. And they had also gotten some upset tummies after their little visit. While I was sick, Tiffany watched everyone. They went to her house, and movement and anything like that, different kind of water mixed with the formula. I think it just kind of gave them, there's the brand of wipes that I'm using, but it just kind of gave them a little upset tummy, I think. Plus, Mouse came from a different rescue and was on a different formula. And then Merlin's teething, and that gives him diarrhea, and it happens. So I had to tube feed them a couple times because they just didn't want to eat. We don't want them to lose too much weight. Everyone's getting little stuffies that they can cuddle with. Sometimes they get covered in poop, which is why when you first saw me pull everything off, some of them didn't have stuffies. They were in the washer. But now everything's clean. These guys' litter box, they do take up a lot of space, but that's because I want them to start using it, which they are. They started to yesterday, and then over time their spaces, I expand them. So they're not always in little spaces like this. Here's a close-up of everyone. Everyone's got their stuffies, clean pads, warm heating pad. I'm going to feed them all, and then I'm going to bathe them all. And this is me showing you the layers. All right, thanks for watching.